Hello, this is Mr. Lue, and I am your sensei. Today we introduce you to digital literacy. Digital literacy is the understanding of how to use technology as well as how to process information. In Strand 1, you will learn keyboard efficiency skills. You will enhance your keyboard skills. This strand will be used throughout the entire course. In Strand 1.1, students will enhance and demonstrate proper key by touch skills and keyboarding techniques. We will teach you to sit up straight, feet flat on the floor, your body centered with the G and the H key. Fingers are curved on the home row, which are the A, S, D, F, J, K, L semicolon keys. Your wrists are straight and your elbows naturally at your sides. Correct fingers used for the keystrokes. Key by touch. Your eyes should be on the copy or on your screen, but not on the keys. Key with a smooth rhythm. In this class, you must show evidence that you have developed your keyboarding skills. You will need to demonstrate your individual advancement in key by touch, proficiency, and technique. Strand 2. Here, students will learn about information processing cycles. Students will identify a computer and a device that uses hardware and software to accept input, process data, store data, and produce output. In Strand 2.1, we will identify different computer hardware and peripheral devices. For example, a monitor, a keyboard, system unit, motherboard, or power supply, hard drives, a solid-state drive, central processing unit or CPU, and a mouse, touchpad, and a touchscreen. Some examples of peripheral devices include a printer, a camera, projector, speakers, headphones, microphones, game controllers, and virtual reality headsets. Standard 2.2. Here we will explain to you the role of software for a computing system, and will define software as a set of instructions that runs a computer system and other computing devices. There are several operating systems. For example, Windows by Microsoft, Mac OS by Apple, Android by Google, and iOS, and Linux, a Unix operating derivative. We'll also learn about application software, such as business software, communication software, entertainment software, multimedia software, and education software. Standard 2.3. Here we learn about input devices such as a keyboard, a mouse, a touchpad, touch screen, microphone, camera, and game controller. Standard 2.4. Here we define processing and explain how processing functions in the information processing cycle. Here we take a look at the main processor in the computing system, known as the Central Processing Unit, or CPU. We'll look at algorithms, which are a set of instructions. A loop is a programming structure that repeats a set of instructions as long as a specific set of conditions are still true. A conditional is a feature of a programming language that performs different computations or actions depending on whether a programmer's specified Boolean condition evaluates to be true or false. We'll also explain the role of the CPU, memory, storage, when purchasing a computer device. Standard 2.5 will explain memory and storage devices and function in the information processing cycle. Memory. It's a temporary stored data for immediate use in a computer system. There are two types of memory: random access memory, which is the most volatile memory. It is used by the operating system and application software only while the computer is running. Read-only memory, or ROM, it is non-volatile memory. We'll define storage as a place where data can be held and retrieved at a later time. There are different types of storage, such as a hard drive, an external hard drive, flash drive, solid-state drive, a memory card, and cloud storage. We'll explain the role of memory and storage when purchasing a computer device based on your individual needs. In Standard 2.6, we explain output devices and how they function in the information processing cycle. We define output as information processed from a computing system and retrieved by the user. An output device, as hardware equipment, is used to transfer data out from a computer system. There are a variety of functions of output devices, such as your monitor, screen, your printer, a projector, speakers, and headphones. In Strand 3, we'll talk about global collaboration. Here, students will learn how to use digital tools to broaden your perspective and enrich your learning by collaborating with others and working effectively in teams locally and globally. Standard 3.1 define the components of the Internet. For example, a network, the Internet, bandwidth, URL, IP, browser, search engine, and server. Standard 3.2.A and B. These are a variety of Internet connections. We'll talk about Internet service providers, a modem, a router. Standard 3.2, C, D, E, and F. We'll explain how to connect and navigate the Internet through Internet connections. Talk about a URL, or a Uniform Resource Locator. Standard 3.2, G, and H. We'll explain, again, how to connect and navigate the Internet. We'll demonstrate the common website navigation components, and we'll also identify components of a credible online content. In Standard 3.3a, we identify a variety of online communication tools and primary features of electronic mail. There are numerous communication programs. The one that you will use most often is primarily email. You're familiar with email such as Gmail, Microsoft Outlook, and Yahoo. Instant messaging, video conferencing, web authoring, and social networking. In Standard 3.3, B and C, here students must demonstrate the use of a defined communication tool, explain some of the features, benefits, and dangers in online communities. In Strand 4, we learn about the digital citizen, and you, as a student, must recognize the rights, responsibilities, and opportunities of living, learning, and working in an interconnected digital world. We'll teach you about how to act properly and model ways that are safe, legal, and ethical. In Standard 4.1, we learn about defining digital citizenship and what is a digital footprint. We'll teach you netiquette, the do's and don'ts as a digital citizenship, your social norms, appropriate and responsible behavior. We'll teach you about digital footprints as the information about you that exists on the internet as a result of your online activity. In Standard 4.2.A, B, and C, we'll talk about online safety and digital security. Standard 4.2, D, E, and F. We'll talk about safety and privacy. We'll talk about the threats that you can find in the digital world, such as adware, computer worm virus, denial of service attacks, hackers, malware, ransomware, spyware, Trojan horse, antivirus protection software, and online privacy. In Standard 4.2, G, H, and I, we continue our discussion about safety and privacy. We'll identify threats to online transactions, threats to email and online communication, and we'll explain the importance of different security measures on your digital devices. In Standard 4.3, A and B, we'll talk about your legal and ethical responsibility. We'll define intellectual property and talk about copyrights, Creative Commons, patents, public domain, trade secrets, and trademarks. Standard 4.3, C, D, E, and F. We'll discuss plagiarism, copyright infringement, piracy, digital ethics, and netiquette. In Standard 4.4, A, B, and C, here we will discuss digital wellness and cyberbullying. Standard 4.4, D, E, and F will further discuss cyberbullying, identify strategies to deal with cyberbullies, identify the steps to report cyberbullying, identify consequences of cyberbullying for both the perpetuator and the victim. In Strand 5, this is your knowledge constructor. Students will critically curate a variety of resources using digital tools that construct knowledge, produce creative artifacts, and make meaningful learning experiences for yourself and for others. Standard 5.1, A and B, will define common features and functions of software programs, both structural elements and interaction elements. 5.1, C and D, define common functions and features of software programs. We'll identify primary keyboard shortcuts such as cut, copy, paste, undo, redo, save, print, and find. We'll identify the differences between save as and save. In Standard 5.2, we discuss file management. We'll perform basic file management tasks. We'll define file management systems as software that manages the storage of data and files. We'll create and delete files, create and delete folders, create and delete subfolders. In Standard 5.3, you'll demonstrate your knowledge of word processing. And Standard 5.4 will demonstrate the knowledge of spreadsheets. In Standard 5.5 will demonstrate the knowledge of presentation programs. And finally, in 5.6, we define the database and real-world applications. In 5.7a, these are, once again, a performance skills. You'll demonstrate the knowledge of calendaring. You'll create a calendar event with appointments and the following features: individual, recurring, location, time zone, notes, invitations. And using your performance skills, you'll demonstrate and use a variety of productivity programs to develop awareness and solve problems by creating new, useful, or imaginative